In this world, nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes.
Over the years, many issues have come and gone, but one has been here longer than our country.
Increasing taxes.
Tax rate bill.
Getting hit by a tax breaks,
Border tax.
Our revolution was started because of taxes. We wanted representation in the English Parliament to be able to say whether or not we wanted to be taxed.
To choose whether we wanted to be taxed.
Absolutely. We had no voice. They just simply said, here, take this tax, take this tax. So again, less about the tax itself, more about the fact that we had no choice to even speak out against it.
John Locke say about regarding the role of government?
Oh, John Locke, one of the greatest Enlightenment thinkers of all time, influenced America more than anyone else. His main thrust is every human has inherent rights to life, liberty, property, and we added the pursuit of happiness to that. And if anyone, any government figure, anybody tries to take away your life or your pursuit of what you want to do or your liberty as a human being, then it's your right, it's your duty to take those rights back.
These two ideas, taxes and freedom, are related. As the saying goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Clearly, this statement has been proven true through history, and the less power an individual has, less corrupt they can be. So what are the ways to limit power? Well, one could be to divide up the jobs among many elected officials, but this only goes so far. Another way is to limit the size and expansion of a government, to control how much money it has. If there is less money, then there would be no way to pay for the expansion and growth. The main problem with growth is the more government there is, the less freedom, as the only reason why to expand is to expand in order to increase regulations and laws.
Limiting laws and regulations? Okay, clearly I have a different opinion than about half the country, which is why, if I were just to state the most urgent issue for Donald Trump to be facing right now is tax reform, most of you would be concerned, why would you want to reform our taxes? Good question. This is the federal income tax. It has 7 brackets. It starts at the rate of 10%, increases to 15, 25, 28, 33, 35, 39.6. It has 3 criterion: single, married, and head of house. These adjust the ranges for each bracket. You only pay the percentage for that bracket. If you make $50,000, you only pay 10% on the $9,000, then you pay 15 on the $9,000 to $37,000, and then you pay 25% on $37,000 to $50,000.
The first issue is that there are even 7 tax brackets. Most people believe that the rich should pay more than the poor. This statement makes sense, as clearly the rich can afford to pay more. This is proportional tax. What everyone pays in taxes is proportional to one's income. For example, person A makes $50,000 and pays $5,000 in taxes. Person B makes $200,000 and pays $20,000 in taxes. Clearly, person A and B do not pay the same amount, but they do pay the same rate of 10%. Many people do not understand this fact that just because people are taxed the same does not mean that they pay the same in taxes. So what type of system do we have? We have a progressive system, where people that make more pay more, but the amount they pay is not proportional to their income. Many supporters of our system claim that a proportional tax is regressive. This is true. This is why people who support proportional tax often add that any income made under the poverty line is not taxed at all. That way, those people are not harmed by losing their money that is needed for basic necessities. Another reason the wealthy should not be taxed more than others is they are the investors in an economy, and most often run extremely important companies. Example of the wealthy being investors is Elon Musk, who took his fortune and invested into SpaceX and Tesla, or Mark Zuckerberg, who invested $3 billion into curing diseases. Dean Kamen, who started a robotics competition called FIRST, which our school has a team that made the World Championships last year. It is also important to note that most of these people are the founders of companies which employ nearly every worker in the middle class, as even the smallest corporations often make several hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. The second issue with the tax code is that it completely ignores the Laffer curve, which demonstrates that there is a point at which the higher tax, the less revenue is generated. This is concluded by realizing that taxing 0% will make 0 revenue, and 100% will cause no one to work because they know all their money will be taken away. This means at one point there must be a zenith where the government makes less money if they tax more. Christina Romer, who is the chair of economic advisors for President Obama, found in a study from January 2009 to March 2010 that every 1% taxes increase, there's a 3% reduction in GDP. This means that taxes will harm the economy, and by doing the math, we realize that if any tax is over 33%, the government is losing money. This is why people like David Johnson, a senior member of the Renew California campaign, who claims that increasing taxes on the wealthy to 90% would help the middle class, are wrong. It would cause a recession and hurt the middle class and make less revenue. The last point I will make is that it is rather complicated for small business and the average person to file taxes. This is because, as the Washington Examiner quotes, as they rush to file their taxes by April 18th, Americans are rightly frustrated by the complexity of the 74,608-page-long federal tax code. This is largely due to lobbying, where large corporations bargain for legislators to make loopholes in the tax code. This is excellent for them, but hurts small businesses and adds to the bureaucracy that is our tax system.
My closing statement is to the President. Dear Mr. President, you should now understand the urgency of the situation that is our tax code. And now understand why you should massively push for a massive tax reform, bigger than the one that you proposed. Reduce taxes to 10%, as this would be fair for everyone. This would also help the middle class, and to help the poorer people, anyone who makes under the poverty line would simply just not be taxed. This would help our struggling economy, which is currently at 2.8% growth for the last 4 years. It would prevent corruption and help small businesses. I also wish for anyone who just watched this video to have a wonderful day and hope that you enjoyed.